You want to get a good source of bones, and that is grass-fed beef bones.
Yep.
And grass-fed because the grass-fed beef contains a lot of omega-3s. So we're looking for omega-3s in our diet, which are anti-inflammatory fats, versus the omega-6s. Omega-6s are very important in our diet, but there's sort of a preponderance for omega-6s, and so we're getting too many omega-6s, and that leads us down an inflammatory pathway.
Right.
So that means more joint pain, more inflammation in the body, and that's something that we want to balance out and avoid the sort of imbalance of omega-6s to omega-3s. So find grass-fed beef and get grass-fed beef bones. Now, grass-fed beef has a little bit different flavor than corn-fed or soy-fed or sorghum-fed beef. It's a little bit more, I would say, gamey, or
it's a little more lean.
It tastes a little bit more like cow, and it's not so inflammatory for you. So try and stick with grass-fed. We have a couple of companies here in the valley that have grass-fed beef, and you can find those. Natural Grocers, I think, has a good selection. The Medford Food Co-op, the Ashland Food Co-op, and sometimes you'll find some at Shop'n Kart in Ashland.
And find your local farmers too.
Absolutely. Support the local guys.
Shake the hand that feeds you is what I like to
Please.
say. So find the local farmers. And here's an important thing, is that if you make your own bone broth, which I would highly recommend because it's really the most cost-effective and best way to do it, you want, whatever recipe you use, you want to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar to it. Because what you have an opportunity with when you're making bone broth is to get a lot of minerals out of those bones. But the way that you're going to do that is through apple cider vinegar. It's the vinegar that can actually pull the minerals out of the bones into the bone broth, and that's going to be a way that you can actually maximize the nutritional value of the bone broth that you're making. So my favorite recipe, and it's super simple, is I take about 1.5 pounds of grass-fed beef bones. I like beef bone broth.
Okay.
That's my personal favorite. I like chicken too, but I'm more of a beef bone broth person. So I take 1.5 pounds of grass-fed beef bones with the marrow, and I add 1 gallon of water to that, and then I put 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with 2 teaspoons of real salt in there, and then I take an entire bulb of garlic and I crush it because I want to activate the allicin in the garlic by crushing it. And then I add that, and I let it, and it's all in a crock pot, and I let that cook for 24 hours, add a little more water, then I might let it go another 24 hours. So I like to really cook mine. 24 hours is adequate. 48 hours just takes it to the next level.
Adding water to the bone broth, it's important to have a clean water source. So if your municipal water source is high in chlorine, you can actually cook that down and concentrate the chlorine. So, use a clean water source. If you can get, Mount Shasta water or a filtered water that has no chlorine in it, it's going to be the best. And it's actually going to taste better for you.
Yes.
It's going to be better for you. It's going to taste better. So use a clean water source. And my bone broth recipe is sort of similar to yours. And I like to put in lots of garlic. And if you're coming off a fast, or if you're looking to heal your gut and you're sensitive to some things, you can just be as simple as bones, salt, and water, right? And a little bit of apple cider vinegar. You can avoid putting in the garlic and the onions and the celery and things like that. But my favorite way to break a fast is actually with bone broth. It's super good. It's super healing for the gut.